I'm literally so over men. This is what dating is like in 2026. Talking to this guy about meeting up, and I'm a big let's grab coffee first as a first date, like less pressure, less time, less money. I pick the location, I pick the time, I pick the place, and he responds and he's like, actually, that's a little far from me. I was like, okay, where do you live? He lives 20 minutes away. I'm asking for the most bare bone minimum, and we can't even do that. You can't even put 20 minutes into anything. What does that say about you? Like, at least where I live, you can't get anywhere in less than 20 minutes. I know you can't get a block in New York City in less than 20 minutes. Grocery store or a gas station in Los Angeles. And on a first date too, aren't you supposed to be putting your best foot forward and making the best first impression? I can't. I'm so done. It's like wondering why I'm not texting. What? No, sir, we are not doing that. Guys, please do better. This is so ridiculous. They wonder why women just don't want to date. It's because of this shit. Didn't even know how to respond.
I would just like to say I'm getting really tired of carrying my own groceries out of Sprouts by myself. So if someone would like to start holding my groceries for me, that'd be great. Thank you.
I was at a bar this weekend and I'm talking to this guy and he asked me how old I am. I say I'm 26 and he goes, wow, you look great for your age. I said, how old did you think I was? He said, 22. Like you look amazing. For your age? 26. Am I old? Like, is that an old number? So I came home and I told my brother that story and he said, well, yeah, you're turning 27 this year. So yeah, you're about to be 30. You are old. I said, oh my God, kill me.
The men in my DMs do not understand that just because I can get a bunch of men to run a train on me doesn't mean I want to get a bunch of men to run a train on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see so many comments being like, ew, she's so used. Everyone's been with her. Really? Really? Oh, is that right? I am the kind of girl where it's like, if I don't have an emotional connection with you, you're not seeing my hole, okay? If we haven't been on a few dates and like really gotten to know each other, I'm not bending over. Like, I can't. I have to like have a fantasy of you first. There has to be some back and forth banter for a while. Like, I gotta be warmed up. I'm not just bending over. Like, come on.
What's good, guys? It's your boy JostenJ coming to you with another video. Let's cook, boys. Let's cook. All right. Women are shocked when men don't chase their validation in modern dating. We got action. Let's cook.
Over the weekend, we went to a bar. Was interested in me. He approached me. He did get my phone number. Morning, my best friend sends me a screenshot of Hinge, and that same guy who she was with me that night at the bar, that same guy tried to match with her. So she matched with him just to say, I thought you were interested in my best friend. We both agreed that if he even has a single brain cell, that man would not respond. He would just unmatch with her. He responds and says, although your friend, me, is an attractive woman, for personal reasons, I feel as though it would not be a great match. And then he like tries to have a conversation with her. She unmatched him. I don't know if the rest of everywhere else is like this too, but this is just the dating scene in South Florida. I try to look at myself intuitively and kind of assess who I am as a person. But here's the thing. Fully independent 27-year-old woman who takes care of herself mentally and physically. I work out all the time. I eat very clean. I surround myself with good people. I pay all of my bills. I live on my own in Palm Beach County, doing just fine. I'm doing actually really great for myself. For whatever personal reason you have that you think that I am not a great match, the only conclusion I can come up with is that you are not willing to step up, be at the same level as a woman who has her shit together.
She was tight because he went for the friend. And now she's explaining her entire existence, which she doesn't have to do. But obviously, it hit a nerve. See, what I find funny is that women only remember the guys who are indifferent to them. The ones who actually have balls. It's the only guys that they remember. You know, the guys that want to do anything for them and blah, 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 blah. They're literally the butt of the joke. They're forgotten. It's only until later they're like, oh, I remember that guy. I need one of those guys. Let me pull one of those guys out of the nice guy bin or whatever. But the only guys that they truly remember are the guys that are indifferent to them. So he shot his shot at her friend. And she's like, he should have known to not say anything or whatever. And he tried to continue the conversation. Yes, it's not a big deal like that. See, the men that they're attracted to, even when we talk about approaching, right? A man that can approach a woman, get rejected, then go up to another woman in front of that woman and get accepted. You ever notice how women don't like that? You can ask a woman to dance. She says, no, I'm good. You go dance with another woman, and now she's looking at you the whole night. Like, yo, you tripping. How am I tripping? Because I moved along, right? I had the confidence within myself. I didn't get down on myself. I said, I'm not out for the count. This was expected to happen. Now I go to somebody who's going to accept me, and now that's a problem. Because I have balls, that's why they remember you. Because you're indifferent to them. But this clip is very funny. They always talking this nonsense. The guys who are indifferent to them, the guys who have balls, they're worried about them or they're thinking about them. Meanwhile, they're avoiding and stiff-arming the nice guys. Let's get the next clip.
Okay, so I just asked this guy. We talked for a little bit. It was like a Hinge match, okay? It triggered the fuck out of me. Oh my god. Why am I crying on camera? Okay, this is what had happened. So we went on like literally one date. We talked for a while. He seemed excited, but he lives like 2 hours away, okay? And so it just kind of fizzled, and then I was going to be in town, so we met up. We had a good day. And then I could just tell, like, things were not vibing afterwards. You know, I could just tell his energy was a little reserved, and I was like, okay. So I just let it fizzle, whatever. But this is some guy, I was like, oh, he's hot. He's, like, established, I was like, I like this guy. And things went well on the date. Why is he, what happened? I never got clarity. So tonight, a few months, that was in the summer, I don't know. A few months later, I just sent him a voice message and I asked him, I said, hey, I hope you're doing well, blah, 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 pleasantries. And I said, hey, I just would love to know, like, what the disconnect was. Like, what was the, like, I thought we had a fun time. The communication was fun. Yeah. I just talked about what a good time I had. And I was like, I just asked him for genuine feedback. I was like, what happened, basically? And I said, no hard feelings. Of course, no hard feelings. Things just don't work sometimes, whatever. But for my growth, I want to attract somebody that I respect. And right now I'm attracting a bunch of fucking avoidance, and I'm, what happened? Anyways. And so I held it together, okay, guy. And then he texted me that it was just the distance. So we had a really good day, and it was fun, but there's a lot of hurdles with distance and why am I upset? Why am I crying? I feel better talking it out, actually. Thanks, TikTok. Thanks, TikTok. But I think it triggered my inner child in a way that was like, somebody didn't choose me, like I wasn't worthy enough for a long distance, like making that effort. Which is hurtful. But I appreciate the honesty, and that's all I needed to do. It was very vulnerable. I think that was another part of it too. The vulnerability of asking somebody, like, hey, what happened? And then them answering, and it's just like, just wasn't worth it, kind of. Like, he was so nice about it. But it hurt me feelings. It triggered me. Have any of you ever done this? Have any of you ever asked somebody, maybe they ghosted you, I don't know, ask? It's kind of like, grow, get a little uncomfortable. I sent him a voice message asking him, what was the disconnect?
She said she wants to attract someone who she respects. She respects him. She listed off a bunch of positive things about him. But because he wasn't chasing her validation, you don't respect him? And he didn't ghost her. See, this is what I try to always tell guys. When you're telling a woman, okay, never mind, you're not ghosting them. You're operating with emotional intelligence. You're not even ghosting. He said it's the distance. Now, here's the problem that she's facing. She's not making herself useful. She said he was hot and established. Okay? That's a guy you would want. Make yourself useful and drive to him if the distance is a problem. Let him know, okay, that's not a problem. Women will drive to you when they're seriously interested. When they have high interest in you, the distance will be nothing. I told you guys, a chick recently just told me, oh, I have a car, it's okay. My chick, she always makes a joke about this exit that she passes on the way to my house. The last guy she dated, she told him, I don't drive to guys, and he always drove to her. She wants to be chased. She wants a guy to chase after her validation, which includes paying for dates, driving to her, and all of this stuff. No, you said he's hot and established. If you don't meet these guys everywhere or every day, or even get a date with one of these guys, you have to make yourself useful. They don't understand this. Let's get the next clip.
I went on a date last night and I couldn't quite figure out what the fuck the guy's problem was, but I think I finally figured it out. He couldn't be happy for anything that I was saying. Pretty much anytime I would talk about myself, he would tune me out, and it was very obvious that he would stop paying attention. I would ask him questions like, what do you do for work? Oh, you do this for work. How do you like that? How long have you been doing that? So many follow-up questions, and then he's just like, oh, what about you? As soon as I start talking, you can tell he's looking around, not paying attention to what I'm saying. If he would say something back, it was something so backhanded. I was talking to him about how I'm a personal trainer. I just got into it. I'm really excited to build my client base. And he was like, yeah, I mean, personal training's pretty easy. I have a lot of buddies that do that. So I think that'll be good for you. Just shit like that, where it was just so backhanded and couldn't actually be genuine. No follow-up questions, just a backhanded comment. I think what it is, it's envy, because a lot of guys are very, very intimidated by success and someone who has a strong head on their shoulders, somebody who has a dominating personality. I would say I have a dominating personality. They are very intimidated by that. I should say boys are, men aren't, but boys are very intimidated by a dominating personality, and they fear confidence because a lot of them just want a woman that is at their beck and call and will just be a yes woman. They're so envious of the confidence that women have when they have a strong head on their shoulders and how they portray themselves and how they're not scared or not just going to be that doormat. But I'm not sure why I'm attracting guys like that. I definitely don't have a personality to be walked all over. It's just really getting old, the not being able to ask any questions about the person you're with or even genuinely care what the other person is talking about.
He wasn't intimidated by her. Do not be fooled. Remember, guys, I can tell you all these stories and I don't have to be there. The guy wasn't intimidated by her. The thing is, she wants to talk about career fields, career paths. She wants to talk about how she's thriving. She's not asking him what are his favorite hobbies. What is he passionate about? Anything that keeps the conversation going. But she's doing this generic BS where she's talking about her career because now she's taking off in whatever she's doing and she wants to compare. Men are not intimidated by women. Newsflash. Men see or feel as though you are this big-headed, arrogant person because of the way you speak. The things you're speaking about. You want to talk about careers and all of this stuff. Okay, great. You're doing well in your life. This is what people should be doing. This is what people should be doing with their life. They should be an adult. They call it adulting. They want a pat on the back for that. No, you're an adult. You're thriving in your life as you should as a productive member of society. That is all. She wants to prop herself up, and then she expects him to be like, oh my God, really? That's amazing. You're so different. You're not like anybody else I've talked to. Tell me more. Please. I'm dying to listen. Yeah. That's not how that goes. Men get a whiff of that. And see, in these relationship dynamics, those type of women actually do better with a guy. See, they want a guy who's respectable, masculine, a go-getter and stuff like that, and a provider. But who they're going to tend to deal better with is a guy who isn't decisive. A guy who's going to lean on her to make decisions. A guy who's going to hand his paycheck to her. A guy who's going to need her to make the moves because she's the strong one in the relationship. Believe it or not. See, you would think, no, she needs a strong guy with her. No, they clash. So typically the only guys who it's really going to work in a relationship is a guy who is a lesser guy. A guy that doesn't believe in himself, a guy that's going to chase her validation, and she's going to be able to maneuver how she wants and dictate the relationship and have control over the relationship. Those are going to be the guys that stick around for them because those guys are going to view her as better than them. A guy who loves himself is not going to do well in a relationship with this woman. Just the facts. But he didn't chase her validation, and now she's spinning it as he's intimidated. And this is what they're going to do all the time. He's not chasing you. He doesn't care like that. He's not trying to apply pressure like that. Oh, he's intimidated, girl. Okay, you lose out on an opportunity, though. Oh, let's act like we didn't even want the opportunity to begin with. Smart. Let's get the next clip.
I'm going to say it again. Please stop disturbing women that you are not ready for. Stop disturbing women that you cannot maintain, okay? There are too many men on these apps, dating apps, social media platforms, trying to move to women, trying to pursue women, but they are not in the position to actually date. If you are an adult and you are unable to take a woman on a date, you are unable to even buy her a plate of food, you should not be dating. Really should not be dating. Like, you shouldn't even be thinking about dating, okay? If you cannot even afford to take a woman out on a normal date and buy her a plate of food, no.
So a man isn't ready for a relationship or to be with a woman if he's not willing to take a woman out on dinner dates and pay for them. Women are going to struggle with this, and they're going to keep bumping their head. And when I listen to these clips, I picture someone just bumping their head into the wall until their head splits open because they don't get it. Dating apps are for hookups that turn into relationships. You cannot have anything tailor-made for you. You cannot dictate timelines and how things will work. And you're trying to make sure you get the best return on investment with a guy. You guys don't invest anyway, so whatever. You have to see if you're sexually attracted to this person. If you like having conversation and all that stuff, you like the way they look, you're sexually attracted to them. You guys hook up, it goes great. Now, you guys are feeling each other so much that you're like, yo, I want to do this with you. I don't want to do it with anybody else. Yeah, let's lock in. After a couple months, that's how things go. But men aren't chasing your validation because dating apps have always been hookup apps that turned into relationships. Men aren't trying to control it like that. Men are like, let's go out. Let's go back to my place. Women are like, well, what do you do for a living? Do you love dogs? Are you close with your family? Blah, 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 blah. Men are on that. So until you understand this, and you get on the phone with a guy, you like talking to him, you like him, you think he's charming, he's got some wits about him, you go out, he matches the pictures or exceeds your expectations from the pictures, right? You might kiss on the first date, cool. Second date, you probably still don't smash or whatever, but by the second or third date, you smash and you like it and you say it's fire. Now make yourself useful. Don't put too much on it because you might scare him away, but make yourself useful. Make yourself stand out because there's a high chance that because you find him attractive, other women find him attractive. So you're going to have to compete. And you make yourself stand out with your femininity, that nurturing side, that warm, bubbly energy, being happy to see him. I'm cooking tonight. I want to bring you some leftovers. I'm cooking tonight. You should come over. Women got to take the lead. Women have to take the lead a little bit. They don't like it, but you know, you go on a date, he pays. Second time you're talking to him, tell him to come over and you'll cook him something. Most women don't do that. See, women think that they're different from other women, but they're really not. They're pretty much all the same. Because they don't act like that. So when you act like that, a guy says, oh shit, his antennas go up. Okay, I like this. I got the next date. I'm inspired to treat her good because she's treating me good. They don't understand. That's why men don't chase validation. It's like this. Men who are smart can see women who have value and women that don't. Simple. And if they want to sit here and keep kicking and screaming, they're going to remain frustrated because out here, guys that are attractive to women are guys that understand the game. Guys that understand the game are looking for a woman that understands the game. A lot of women don't have game. It is what it is. Let's get the next one.
Why can't I ever be someone's fucking first choice? I don't under-fucking-stand, bro! You're always my fucking first choice, so why can't I be yours? You can never fucking reciprocate the love I give to you. No one! How is it that fucking hard?
Remember in yesterday's video when I said, you know, women just automatically assume that you're gonna like them. You're gonna like having sex with them. You're going to want to be their boyfriend. You're going to want to give them a relationship. This clip perfectly proves what I was explaining, because she's like, why am I not your first choice, but you're always my first choice with all of these guys? And it's happening time and time again, because you're assuming that these guys are going to like you and you're not making yourself useful. See, this is the problem with women that hook up with a lot of guys. They hook up with a lot of guys based on attraction. There's nothing wrong with that part, but they never learn anything. Just like guys, when you have a lot of sex, but you don't look at anything outside of the sex, you don't learn anything. So then once sex stops happening, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? You never stopped to learn what made you attractive to have all that sex. You never stopped to learn what is turning these women on. What am I doing that I need to keep doing? Because if you knew all of that stuff, you would keep doing it. Things would never slow down. Even though things naturally slow down, it would never just dead stop. You were having it so easy. You were having so much sex that you never stopped to learn anything. It's the same thing on a woman's side. When you're having sex easily and then it stops, or you're attracting men easily and then it stops, you never learned what it takes to keep a guy around. You never learned what it takes to get commitment from a guy. You never learned what it takes to actually be in your feminine energy that guys want. No. It's like I go out, I party, I drink, I get smashed. I go over to this friend group, I get smashed. I go over to this friend group, I get smashed. I go to this country, I get smashed, and I come back to get smashed. And it's like, wait, what's going on? Nobody's chasing my validation. There's nothing to chase. There's nothing to chase. So that's why you're not somebody's first choice. A bunch of times out of these guys that you're attracted to, they'll smash you. It is what it is. But after that, you gave up your hand. You showed your hand. You don't have anything behind that. This is what I mean about make yourself useful. When you have sex with a guy, there's no problem there. When you're useful, you're not showing your whole hand, because a guy can say, there's more value in that than that, but I already like that, and plus I'll get that. Yes, I want to put in effort. And a woman might think, no, that's not true. You're thinking about little boys. You're not thinking about men. And it is what it is. If this keeps happening to you, it's your type. It's not an actual man. An actual man sees value in a woman and says, you know what? I want to build off that. I want to capitalize off that. I want to build that up and nurture that, because that's hard to come by. So when they say, oh, you know, all women aren't the same and we're different and this, that, and the third. Okay, so then why is it the way it is? Because you're replaceable. You're not making yourself useful. So this was Women Are Shocked That Men Don't Chase Their Validation. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. It's your boy JostenJ. Get with you boys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
As a man, have you ever thought about how crazy it is that you gotta work your entire life, get your life together, get your finances in order, get a nice car, get a good house? After you get all of that, you have to chase a woman, prove to her that you're worthy of her time just so you can pay her bills. This shit is insane.